Ladies and gents, hello and welcome. My name, of course, is RhapsodyPlays. His name is Rhapsody. We're back for some Shellshock Live. Oh, good. I like some background Foley noise just to start off the episode.
Yeah, sorry, that's my bad. I have a giant singular ice cube that sits in a metal cup, and I didn't recognize that I was at the very bottom of my cup in terms of water. So when I tipped it up, the ice cube slid towards my mouth, and I recognized that the only way that I was going to be able to resolve this situation was to right side it and then have that thump go. So
to right side it, yeah. Right siding, man. Yeah, it's like west side.
yeah, it's a right side.
East side. You know, right side, right side. You're right siding your cup.
That is a completely normal turn of phrase.
What, right siding your cup? Are you kidding me?
Yes.
I've literally never heard that.
So you may have not, but did you know what I mean?
No, not at all, actually.
You did.
I'm just
Yes, you did.
assuming. I'm assuming that you, like, tipped your cup to, like, the right-hand side.
No.
Okay, so I assumed
You know
wrong.
what I meant. This isn't an HP source situation.
What? Like, to run the ice cube down the right-hand side of the cup, you tip to the...
No, to turn it right side up.
Oh, no, I thought you were meaning, like the left and right side of the cup.
Mm-mm.
See? This is an
You didn't
HP
think
sauce
that.
situation. I did think that. I'm not kidding you. You're giving me way too much
So-
credit right now.
There was 8 wins. I hit you with all 4 bounces of that.
Yeah, that's just because I don't believe that weapon is good at all, and therefore I'm not going to believe in its capability, so please don't change my mind.
All right, you know what? That's a very transparent way to, come about that opinion, so I actually kind of appreciate that. Most people usually try and cloud it in a cloak of obfuscation. Yes, that's right. Incredibly tautological there, but still.
Oh, I was going to use that weapon on you, dude. Ugh, why would you? I was going to get an upgrade for that as well. Lame.
Yeah, sorry about it.
Lame. That's annoying.
Sorry, not sorry, mon frere. Now, in the last episode, we had a cliffhanger where Orbital was about to perform for us
Was
his
I?
worst impression.
I don't know. I feel like I can do a bunch of impressions equally badly, so it's not a case of.
Throw out some names. I'll choose.
I can do. Sorry. By the way, I've had bounce explode all this time. I'm so sorry. I should have used it. I don't even notice most of the time. I don't know. I feel like I can do most people to at least a sufficiently bad degree that it's.
Most people. No,
Yeah,
I need you to claim that you can do somewhat, so that then we can all observe.
I feel like my South African's pretty bad, so that's quite a reliably
no.
bad one.
Impression, not an accent.
Yeah, but like,
Impression.
okay, well, an impression of a South African person then.
I'm gonna do Trevor Noah, or I'm gonna do the lead character, District 9.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
an impression of a celebrity. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I can do an impression of you.
Of a celebrity. Thank
Yeah,
you very much.
A celebrity, thank you very much. An internet celebrity was not
actual
disqualified.
celebrity.
An internet celebrity was not disqualified from your list of celebrities. And so you are
Okay.
every bit as legitimate a celebrity.
You know what? I agree to your pedantic nature in there. Please, your impression of me.
I don't... Oh, come on. I was going to do your intro, but I completely forgot it. What is your intro?
I just did it.
I know you just did it. But it's like one of those things I've heard so many times that it's kind of just like stopped registering with me. It's kind of just like
Yeah. No,
You know?
I'm entirely familiar with that phenomenon. My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to.
okay, all right.
I know the name of the series.
My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Shellshock
Is that
Live.
your sincere attempt at an impression?
No, it just sort of came out like that. But that's
Oi, lads and lasses, me name the Orbital Potato.
Am I a pirate now? Is that?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't.
you're a
that wasn't my. The Australian accent is a bit difficult to get going. You know, it's kind of like a rusty.
That's fine because I don't really have much of one.
That's true. You don't have much of an Australian accent, which is why I went for a Cockney accent with you. It was tailored specifically to you.
Wow. You didn't even give me received pronunciation.
I couldn't even tell you what that is.
Posh.
Oh, yeah, okay. Queen's English. Yeah.
Yes. Royalty, nobility, the gentry.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I don't know.
Maleficent.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking of it. I mean, it doesn't really help me qualify any accents, but yeah, I feel you.
Cool.
I don't know. I don't particularly do any accents particularly well.
I never asked about accents. I asked about impressions.
Accents, impressions. Like, I feel yeah, we're just being pedantic here. Do you not think?
I mean, if you want a series full of the world's worst accents that can be done by a human being, the Hex on my channel is
self-promotion.
all bad. How goes the Megabucks Empire, by the way?
The Megabucks Empire?
Yeah, the YouTube corporation, Megabucks Empire. Dolores.
It's a good game. The Megacorp expansion. Yeah, it's a good game.
Oh, the Megacorp expansion.
Yeah.
I heard Megabucks somehow.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a great fun game. But
actually, I do have a legitimate question. Are you going to be starting a new campaign when Civ 6 releases the Maori?
I am actually. Yeah, so that's going to be released in the Gathering Storm expansion, which I actually did an analysis video of, talking about some of the brand new features and things.
Woohoo!
I'm super stoked about that actually. Yeah, there's a bunch of really interesting stuff that they're going to be adding. One of the great things is that they've pretty much added, at least over the course of history with the Civilization franchise, they've pretty much added all of the big leaders, which now they're adding like a lot more niche leaders, which is really nice. So like they've already announced, I think they announced the Hungarian leader, I can't remember his name, and then they've also announced the Maori. So that's the sort of two I think they've announced, and they're releasing 9 new leaders and 8 new civilizations in the next update, which is really exciting.
Yeah. It seems like a really good time to be a Civ fan.
Yeah. Because the next expansion, or the upcoming expansion, is basically completely tailored around like global warming.
Gathering Storm.
Gathering Storm. So basically they're introducing a whole bunch of effects that are tailored towards altering the map. So you'll have like floods, you've got volcanoes, you've got hurricanes, tsunamis, all that sort of stuff. And you've got, a whole bunch of new mechanics which will allow you to pollute or not pollute the environment after the classical era. You can build dams as well. Really exciting. Really, really exciting stuff. Sorry, I waylaid someone.
No. I actually really appreciate the sincerity. We've been insincere for 3.5 episodes straight. No, it's nice that you talk about something that you actually enjoy.
I know I hate this, honestly. It's just, when will it end, honestly? Michty me.
No, I mean something that you sincerely, passionately enjoy. Like I always love hearing people talk about something they really are actually incredibly passionate about.
Yeah.
And the thing that I hate the most is when people shut that down and go, I don't care.
Yeah. It's like sometimes, I guess just like that conversation, is when you get someone genuinely interested in what they're talking about, it's such a pleasure to listen to, because it's like, yeah, you can just like sit back and smile. It really is. I mean, maybe not with Civ, but you get the picture, right?
No, I get it with Civ as well.
It's good. It's really good fun. It's really good fun. So, here's a question: what are you passionate about? I mean that in not the sort of sarcastic meaning of, what do you genuinely like care about?
Comedy, representation in media, politics, games, obviously. The performative aspects of things, so like art especially, I am extremely not like I'm talking like obviously high culture art. I'm talking about kind of like more indie, but still tinged towards consumer, like large consumer art.
Okay. Okay.
So like indie films, that kind of thing. Like,
Okay.
I really like indie films. Like alternative comedy, especially. Oh god, like alternative improv, absurdist comedy, surreal comedy, these kinds of things. Love them. Oh, couldn't be more on board.
Can you? I mean, I'm horrifically uneducated when it comes to and I mean literally everything that you just said. But I mean, could you explain what absurdist comedy, I guess, is, and some of the sort of stuff that you would expect at an absurdist comedy performance?
So a lot of the things that I enjoy, like there are straight up absurdists that do not care about your perception of the show.
Okay.
Those kinds of things I enjoy less. What I typically enjoy are comedians that understand that their audience understands the way that comedy is usually formed and uses that against them. So they will set you up for what you expect to be a punchline and let you down from it, and kind of constantly play with your expectations. So they're taking your understanding of comedy and using it against you.
Okay.
To make things funny that to an otherwise onlooker would not look funny at all.
Okay, I appreciate that. I mean, to counter that, just to sort of add to the discussion, do you not think that that's sort of, I guess, kind of mainstream, given the fact that, you know, we have so many, like, panel shows, and we, you know, people, I guess, in general
Panel
understand.
shows are so formulaic, though.
I mean, well, yeah,
the beats
exactly.
are always the same. It's
but
set
that's the
up,
point.
drop, punch.
But that's the point, right? Because we have so many panel shows and because people understand, like, comedy now, is that mainstream? I don't know, I'm just genuinely trying to inquire.
It depends what level you go on, right? Like if you want people that, you know, just avoid the obvious punchline, okay, that's not really the area I'm talking about, right? If you want people who know all of the rules of improv and purposefully negate them in order to pull out more of a punchline, that's a little bit more niche, that's more appreciative. If you want people who understand the rules of what you would expect from a surreal or an absurdist comic and use that against you, that's the barrier that's kind of being pushed mostly at the moment.
Okay. That's fair. I understand that to a degree. So, I mean, here's a somewhat related question. I'm not sure if it's straight down the same tram lines. What is the funniest joke you've ever heard?
Oh. That's really difficult.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like a knock knock who's there, Jim's grandma, haha. You know, maybe, I don't know, like a bit, like a even like a specific part of like a show or like a routine or something, you know?
No, okay. I've got it. One does actually come to mind. Starts like this. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Jim. You just reminded me of it. Huh? No, I don't think there is necessarily the best of anything. There's a bunch of different factors upon which any piece of art can be appreciated. And obviously it depends on what you're in the mood for as well. Like there's no the best song. Like there's a couple songs that I'll go to if I'm like, oh, this I want to listen to because it's like a chill vibe at the moment. This I want to listen to get pumped up. Like none of them are the best. They are the best for different applications.
Okay. Do you have an example of a routine that you go to? I don't know, for certain conditions. I don't. Is there? Do you have an example? I'm just trying to get a sort of a scale of what's going on here. I don't mean to like trick you or whatever. That's not the intention.
No, I don't feel tricked. It's just I feel put on the spot. I'm trying to think. Which you understand must be.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Let me phrase that, and then we can sort of narrow it down. Who's your favorite comedian? Do you have a specific favorite comedian or set of favorite comedians?
Okay, so yes, and my tastes have developed incredibly in different directions over time. I would say that probably the two that I hold in the highest regard at the moment would be Paul F. Tompkins, who you've probably never heard of.
Nope.
No? And Bo Burnham,
who I have heard of. I have heard of him.
I had to imagine so.
Okay, so what's the sort of pros and cons of each of I don't know, pros and cons. Sorry, not trying to evaluate them here, but like what's the I don't know, what's the appeal to those chaps?
All right, so I'll start with Bo because it's like more front-facing and obvious. Bo is interesting in that he is a consummate artist.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend listening to What. I wouldn't recommend. Well, yeah, half of What's pretty good. I definitely wouldn't recommend Words, but I would highly, highly recommend the Netflix special Make Happy, which is an incredibly deep and detailed kind of look at fame and fame culture, and especially how it affects him as a performer. And it's also the last thing he was like, yeah, this is the last show I'm going to be doing for, at the very least, an incredibly long period of time, and then decided to go and write a movie and direct it that won a bunch of awards.
Oh, interesting.
Dude is not like a comedian. He is an artist who is using comedy to express that, right? Whereas there are a lot of people who are very, very kind of almost slavishly faithful to the format of comedy and can recreate what a great comedian would do, but can't generate it themselves. It's like they're taking other art and changing it a little bit, modifying it a little bit, but not really generating anything new. I would say that for a similar reason, Mitch Hedberg is one of my favorites of all time.
Okay.
And like that's the same reason that I would say Mitch Hedberg is one of my favorites of all time is the same reason that I would not say that Dimitri Martin is, although I love Dimitri Martin. It's not new. Not really. Yes, you can argue nor was it when Mitch did it, but Mitch had a completely different style and a completely different affect that affected his performance.
Let me counter that from like a outsider perspective who doesn't really know anything about anything. But I mean, surely saying that you know, art is only, I don't know, in your eyes likable, or in your eyes the best.
That's not what I said.
No. Sorry, or in your eyes the best if it's new. Surely that sort of disregards what art actually is.
That's also not what I said.
No, but like it's like I'm trying to like
you
grab
asked
onto
who
the
my
thrust.
favorite comedians are.
Yeah.
My favorites are those. So I would not necessarily say that each of them are the best comedians or even possibly the best at their forms, although I would argue in the case of two of them, yes, that's the case. Specifically, Bo and Mitch. But they are my favorites. To take away from my argument something that I did not say frames that differently.
Okay, I'm trying to just sort of narrow down on what it is. But like, so what? I don't know. I guess my understanding of what actually clarifies is, or what actually classifies as like the way that comedy is sort of changed and the way that it is kind of new. I guess this exposes my horrific lack of knowledge of anything to do with comedy, because I'm not trying to like twist what you're trying to say. I'm just trying to like narrow down on what actually classifies as new comedy and what classifies as changed comedy, if that makes sense. And I just don't know.
So
I don't know.
There are a bunch of people after Louis C.K. broke big. There were a bunch of people who you would watch their act and go, "You're doing C.K. Your act is C.K.'s act. Like, you're not using his jokes. You're not even using his mannerism. But you are definitely using his entire formula. There's nothing new to that. Like, if I wanted that, I could watch CK. If you do it better than CK, then sure, I might also.
Yeah.
But that, for me, doesn't qualify a favorite. Right? A favorite is someone who brings something new to the art form in an interesting way, as well as being, you know, a master.
Okay. I see what you're saying. A really interesting thing. By the way, I listened to a podcast called Still Untitled. It's do you listen to it?
No, I've heard of it though.
You know of it. So yeah, it's basically a podcast where Adam Savage, the Mythbuster, who's a really, really cool guy, and Norman Chan and Will Smith, they basically just sit down and they just basically chat about you know, usually like making stuff, but also more generally they talk about art and film and the way that films are made, and you know, it's a really, really good podcast. I would thoroughly recommend it. been going for years and years now, but it's really, really good, and it's really, really interesting. And something that Adam Savage says, which I thought is you know, pretty much spot on, really, is when it comes to comedy, especially. He says, you know, if you are a comedian if you're a comedian and you rely on the jokes that you tell, then you don't have an act, because only you have a monopoly on being you. If that does that make sense? You know?
Yeah.
Does that make? I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
There is sense in that.
But I don't know how much sense in that is. I don't know. What do you think about that when it comes to comedy? And you know, it's just, you can probably tell that I have no idea what I'm talking about. I really have not got the foggiest. I've not got the foggiest of ideas. Oh,
I mean, I can see that point. I don't think it's necessarily incongruous with the point I was making. In fact, I think it possibly goes entirely hand in hand. That there is something unique that performer is therefore bringing to the stage that no one else can bring to the stage, and that is being themselves, or an affect or an aspect of themselves. Both of those fit. I'm not correcting myself. That they can perform that no one else can, a perspective that they can bring that no one else can. Because yeah, you can hear 100 people deliver the same joke with similar timing.
Yeah.
Right, the beats are all there, but it will work better on some people because it is more, it is more relatable. It is more honest on their part, and that actually brings me back to, that is why I love Paul F. Tompkins. Paul F. Tompkins is the best version of a comedian bearing themselves relatably that I have ever seen, and not putting themselves above the audience, which is something that is so common in like contemporary comedy that I abhor. I hate I'm bigger than you, I'm better than you. That's like, I'm playing that up, but I kind of still believe it a little bit. So you know, that kind of thing. It doesn't. Those kinds of things to me don't contribute positively to the experience of the viewer. They might be funny, but you don't go away from them feeling better. And I think that a part of comedy is to is escapism, is to feel better. And I think that a lot of those that use particularly insult comedy or particularly harsh kind of like classist comedy, like that's what I'm referring to when I'm saying like someone kind of using their status from on high in order to kind of punch down, that is something that I can't get along with. Okay. I know that a lot of other people enjoy it, and I don't begrudge them that enjoyment. It is not for me. I would prefer to feel better about the comedy I consume rather than come away from it having enjoyed my time but feel worse. I feel like that's more like fast food. You really enjoy the fast food in the moment, but ultimately long term, it ain't that great for you.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I think this whole discussion just exposes the fact that I don't know anything about what I'm talking about, just in general.
No, not at all.
Specifically about comedy.
You know what it does expose?
What?
A curiosity and an interest. Those are way more important than knowing a bunch of things about something. Yeah. Because knowing a bunch of things about something and being entirely incurious about that thing leads to the worst kinds of discussions.
That's a very generous analysis of the situation, if I do say so. Maybe I'm just filling time in a YouTube video, you know? Maybe that's what it is.
That's entirely possible. I forgot that we were going over time, by the way, because I was like, oh yes, I finally get to talk about PFT.
Sorry, what's PF? What's that?
PFT, Paul F. Tompkins.
Oh, okay. That's niche.
The man. Yesterday, Paul is actually also an excellent singer, and I was listening to us. And I messaged my partner and said, I am absolutely in love with this man. And then I went, wait, oh no, I love you too. Sorry. Yeah, no, hang on.
Okay.
Thankfully they get it. They love Paul too.
Paul F. Tompkins.
Paul F. Tompkins.
Paul F. Tompkins.
Tompkins. No H in Tompkins.
It rings a bell. It rings a bell for some reason.
You would recognize him as Mr. Peanut Butter from BoJack Horseman. He also used to be
I love
on...
BoJack Horseman. It's great.
Yes. Oh, so do I. Did you make the same mistake I did and watch season 5 in a single sitting?
I don't actually think I did. I think I watched season 5 over like 2 or 3 sittings. But I thought season 5 was by far the best season, actually. I thought it was by like far and away. It explored way more concepts. It conveyed the ideas way better. I thought it was like an example of how to do a season of television especially after 4 seasons already. Like bloomin' heck, it was bloomin' good.
It was excellent. It did something that I didn't think you could do in season 5 of a TV show.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that is explore interestingly the new nuances, the deeper nuances of each and every single character in a single season.
Yeah.
Sure, Peanut Butter wasn't entirely covered in terms of nuance in that season, but Peanut Butter's season was season 4, let's be real.
Yeah. I mean,
and Peanut Butter does have like a lot of depth in that season as well. It's really, really interesting.
He does. I think his depth is intertwined with Diane's. So spoilers. So yeah.
I'm gonna try and not get into spoiler territory personally because I believe that everyone should experience that show for themselves.
It's really good.
But my favorite tweet about that show of all time is BoJack Horseman, as in a quote from BoJack Horseman: "You will inherit your parents' trauma, but you will never understand it. Me, the dog talks."
Yeah.
It's the perfect medium through which to deliver that message as well, because it is disarming.
Yeah.
The medium it is delivered through disarms you to the message that it then delivers.
I don't want to.
It
Yeah.
works.
I don't want to like spoil anything, but like, what was your favorite episode of the season without going into like specifics of the episodes specifically?
Okay, so I will state this in a way that everyone will understand what episode I am referring to.
Okay.
Without specifically using the word. My favorite episode was when BoJack gives a speech.
Yes. I was a way to completely agree. Yep. I would describe it as the BoJack eulogy.
That was kind
episode.
of like transcendent television, right? There for me.
It was bonkers.
Immaculate.
It was so good. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I am trying to kill you because I know you have to go somewhere after this, but
I stupidly put it at 600 HP, like a blinking idiot. Is that all you got? Like, I mean that, in a
I
genuine
do not
way.
have any good weapons. Okay, Attractoids wouldn't have hit. Boulder would have hit once. Bullfrog doesn't hit because you're on a peak. Splitter doesn't hit because you're on a peak. Rainbow does very little damage and I can save it for a position where I don't have anything else. Pinata does no damage. Rampage does no damage when you're on that peak. River spreads too far, does no damage. Shockwave, you're too far away. Shotgun, you're too far away. Yin Yang can't hit you twice because you're on a peak.
I mean, I believed you. You could have just teleported right next to me, though. Just to put that, you could have teleported.
We don't use items.
You could have teleported, dude. I would have given you permission. It's. Hold on a minute. Oh no. This is why I don't like Penetrator. It's just not good. Like, that was pretty much a direct shot, and it just isn't. What?
Oh.
You pulled that out of the sky, dude.
Off the map.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Don't you do that as well?
No.
Oh. Well, you should get on that. It's really good.
I should. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Great shot.
I got the double damage as well.
Did that affect the needles?
Yeah.
You sure?
So double damage affects all damage that is dealt after the damage is collected. So even though the needles were already in you, they didn't deal damage until after I collected the double.
Ugh, the needles were already in me. That's horrible.
Yeah, that's a needler for you, man.
I mean, what do you think about injections? Not just like, but like,
oh, you know me. I'm a heroin fiend.
No. I don't mean that. I mean, like, what do you? I mean, are you a big fan of needles? Because like a lot of people just
a
can't.
Big fan?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's a big fan. I don't mind them. I don't have a problem. I have had multiple times nurses like go, "Do you want to like look away?" And I'm like, "No, I don't care. Like, do it. Like, I'll look directly at it." I have very prominent veins in my arm.
Prominent veins. You should put that on your CV.
No, like, yeah.
Prominent veins.
Nurses do not have trouble finding a vein to use. So yeah, I mean, like, I think I would probably have a worse experience if that were not the case. Because I know a lot of people who, nurses have, like, constantly missed the right spot and had to stab them multiple times.
Yeah.
And that would probably make me, more threatened by needles. But no, it's never been a problem.
Yeah. Okay, that's really interesting.
Yourself?
No, I actually I really quite liked getting injections. I thought it was quite a positive experience.
I have to imagine it would be.
Yeah.
Because, you avoid disease.
Here's a question. And really? How? Okay.
The only time I would ever be able to use that for damage.
That's true. Okay, so here's the thing, right? I really can't cope with blood. I don't know if we've discussed this before, but I cannot cope with blood. Like, not even slightly. I cannot cope with it. But
do you faint at the sight of it, or just get queasy, or?
I don't faint at the sight of it. But the reason that I don't faint at the sight of it, I'm convinced, is because I do not ever allow myself to get into a situation where I can see blood. Seeing my own blood is like, it's not bad. Like, if I've got a little nick on my finger or whatever, that's fine. But but like a serious laceration or someone else's blood or whatever, it's difficult. So I like to at least I used to anyway. I used to donate blood quite a lot because it's it's not a civic duty, but it's a good thing to do to help people that need it. Up until I had, quite honestly, a hugely traumatic experience donating blood, where I did almost faint. Oh, very good shot. Is that?
Thank you.
It was good enough. Where I almost fainted, where the needle came out my arm, where blood went everywhere. It was a complete disaster, and I haven't gone back since.
I'm sorry you've had that experience.
It was. The problem is, right, is that if you do that and they don't get a full bag of blood, they just cannot use the blood, so it's all been for nothing. Like, it's literally all for nothing, which makes me feel even worse.
No. Consider it more broadly. Consider all of your experiences donating blood. Not all of those were for nothing. The final one may have been traumatic and may have not particularly resulted in a viable donation.
That's true.
But the fact that you've done all of those includes a bunch that were.
However, like, in future, I haven't gone back because I haven't wanted to, like, waste people's time. So it's kind of like, because I don't want to risk that happening again. I mean, it wasn't well, not really. I mean, it was my body's fault.
Then why would you be worried that you're wasting their time?
Because, like, it could happen again, and then I'd, like, waste the time of, like, having someone else come in and sit on the table and donate their blood, and then also, like, all of the resources that it takes in order to, like, set up blood extraction and all that, so it's like, do I want to do it? Do I not want to do it?
Yeah.
Oh well.
I would donate blood if I could.
I appreciate that. I sort of gathered that was the case. Anyway, on that note, ladies and gents, we're gonna finish the episode. Thank you very, very much for watching. My name, of course, has been RhapsodyPlays. His name has been Rhapsody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Adios.